Today, I'll be diving into a plugin that a lot of you have probably heard of and wondered if it's actually worth the price, and that is the Dehancer Pro plugin for DaVinci Resolve. Now, if you're into film emulation, cinematic color grading, or you just want a fast way to build out your footage and add some personality, this one might be interesting. I've been testing it over the last couple of months on a variety of different projects, whether it's travel films, commercial shoots, documentaries. I've put this plugin to the test. So in this video, I'm going to talk through what it does exactly, how I build it into my workflow, where it really shines, where it might fall a little bit short, and whether I think it's worth picking up. Now, full disclosure, Dehancer did ask me to create this review. They provided the software, but they didn't pay me, and they told me to be completely transparent with my thoughts. So let's jump in. What is Dehancer? Dehancer is a film emulation suite, but instead of just slapping a LUT on and calling it a day, it gives you a ton of control, whether it's film stocks, halation, bloom, grain, film emulation, color head adjustments, film damage, you name it. If it's a feature of film, you'll find it within this tool. And the beauty of this is you can push and pull each element to your heart's content. It's all designed to mimic the behavior of real film. They actually base their profiles on scan negatives and prints so that you get a nuanced roll-off that's hard to recreate with just basic digital color controls. Now, what I really love about this tool is that everything is in one place. You have it under one node. You're not going through multiple effects across multiple different nodes. It's really clean, really nicely laid out, and it just means that you don't have to build out a complicated node tree. It's just one plugin that covers the entire look. Now, Dehancer is famous in the industry for its film stocks, whether it's Kodak Vision 3, classic Fuji film emulations, black and white options, you name it, it's included. But for me, I'm not much of a film stock nerd or a film nerd at all, for that matter, pre-Dehancer. So I was just looking through all of the options and selecting one until I found a look that was kind of the thing that I was looking for. And that's kind of one of the barriers that prevented me from using Dehancer before this. I thought it was really overcomplicated, something that I'd have to read a load of textbooks and do a load of revision to really get the benefits of it and figure it out. But after about half an hour of playing around with the various sliders, the different options, you really start to get a feel for the possibilities, and you start to figure out which elements you really like, what really appeals to your style, and what you might want to avoid because maybe it's not for you. Another one of the standout features that Dehancer is known for is its halation. The halation tool is one of the reasons people absolutely rave about this plugin. Halation happens in real film when bright highlights kind of bleed out into the surrounding areas, usually in a kind of red and orange glow. And after using the tool across various projects in all different lighting conditions, Dehancer's halation does feel really natural rather than artificial. Sometimes the standard DaVinci Resolve halation tool, although it gets you really close to the results that Dehancer provides, it's just a little bit lacking and sometimes can feel a little bit unnatural, a little bit off. I haven't found that with Dehancer. It's one of the features that I'm really pleased with. Now, halation is extremely easy to overdo, but when it's dialed in, it adds a really nostalgic softness to the highlights. And if you were to show the footage to someone who's not a film nerd, including myself, they wouldn't be able to pinpoint exactly why it feels so nostalgic, but that will be one of the factors that contributes to that. So it's really subtle and it does a really good job of emulating that halation. Now, another feature within DaVinci Resolve that I frequently use is the bloom effect, and Dehancer includes this as well. Similar to halation, bloom adds that dreamy kind of highlighting glow you get from older lenses or diffusion filters. Whilst it's included within DaVinci Resolve as a base level effect, again, this one is super easy to implement. It looks extremely natural when compared to the DaVinci Resolve version. And it just adds a little bit more character, a little bit more of that vintage feel, and a little bit of flair and personality to your footage. Now we get on to my number one feature that I was most looking forward to in Dehancer, and that is the film grain. Film grain is super popular now. We don't like digital looking footage generally anymore. We like to add a little bit of character, bring it back into that nostalgic vintage feel. And the way that we do that is to add film grain, and Dehancer has you covered in this respect. This is hands down the best grain I've used inside a Resolve. The built-in Resolve grain sits on top of the image. It doesn't interact with contrast or chroma the same way that digital grain does in real life. But in contrast, Dehancer's grain integrates into the shadows and midtones in a really convincing way. And if you shoot clean with a Sony FX3, which is what I use, this adds a lot of texture without making the footage look too dirty. So how do I use Dehancer in my usual workflow? I normally drop Dehancer towards the end of my grade after balancing and before the final touches and effects and masking. Some people use it as their entire grade, which is entirely possible, but for me it works better as kind of a finishing layer on top of everything else. For projects where I need a quick turnaround or where the client wants that nostalgic filmic vibe, using Dehancer in one node is miles quicker than building something from scratch. Before this, I was using the Film Look Creator within DaVinci Resolve, and I was getting some pretty good results out of it, but it always just kind of left me wanting a little bit more. I'd been looking for a way to really elevate my color grading style, take it into a slightly different direction, really add some personality and some character, but the base effects within DaVinci Resolve weren't really getting me there. After using Dehancer for the past few months, I've managed to build out some color grades that I'm super happy with, that I've been using across a variety of different projects. And it's just really rejuvenated my love for color grading. So if I summarize what's good about Dehancer, number one would be that it's a huge time saver. You can get a really strong cinematic look in not very much time at all. Instead of building out 10 different nodes, everything's taken care of in one easy to manage space with sliders and drop-down menus that you can edit and push and pull to your heart's content. There's a real sense of discovery and a sense of adventure with using this plugin, and you end up creating looks that maybe you didn't think were possible, maybe you hadn't expected, but that you've fallen in love with. This was a tool that initially seemed really daunting to me. It looked like something only a professional colorist would use. I've never shot on film before, so this always just seemed like a really cool tool that I'd like to learn one day, but that would take some time to really get used to. But as I said, after 30 minutes of really just allowing yourself the time to mess around with the tool, get a feel for the different elements and the different effects, you'll start to build a look that you're really happy with, and you'll start to get an understanding of what each feature does, and just gives you a nice idea of what you can achieve moving forwards as well. Now, Dehancer did tell me to be honest, so nothing's perfect. There are a couple of cons that I've highlighted. Number one is that it's very heavy on the GPU. If your system isn't strong, then quickly, if you're using lots of effects like halation, bloom, print, grain, your system might start to struggle with playback speeds. You can select two different quality options just to give your system a little bit of boost whilst you're editing. But if you're really layering on the effects, as with other effects within DaVinci Resolve, you'll just need to be cautious of how much power you've got left. Con number two that I've experienced is that there's no guidance on what particular effects are doing within your footage. You just have to play around, push and pull the sliders to figure out what an effect is doing. It would be good if Dehancer included maybe a little tips section to give you an idea for what each effect is doing and how it's going to manipulate your footage. Con number three, which isn't necessarily Dehancer's fault, but could potentially be looked into, is that it's very easy to overdo a look. One thing that I found is when I selected one of the presets that you then build out the look from, they almost always didn't really apply to my footage. They looked really overdone, and you have to kind of look past that, start to dial them back, and then add your own effects in on top of that. Like I say, once you get a feel for it, once you've used the plugin on a few different projects and you understand this process, it's not such a big deal. But when you're using this plugin for the first time and you apply one of those presets and all of a sudden your footage is extremely green or extremely blue, you could quite easily just back out and think that it's not for you. But if you persist, you'll realize the power of this plugin, you'll realize the potential in your footage, but you just have to get past that initial barrier. So with all that in mind, who is Dehancer actually for? Now, really, Dehancer is for creators who want a clean, repeatable, high-quality film look. Whether it's for social content or client projects alike, it will really elevate your footage. It's great for music videos, lifestyle content, or branded films, or filmmakers who just want to push digital footage closer to a photochemical vibe. Overall, Dehancer Pro is a really solid plugin. It's not essential for every project, but when you want that filmic vibe, the halation, the grain, the print characteristics, it gets you there faster and much more convincingly than pretty much every other feature within DaVinci Resolve. It's really powerful, it's flexible, and once you dial in a look that you really like and you really resonate with, it's easy to keep everything consistent across an entire project. And if you're interested in trying out Dehancer Pro for yourself, there is an affiliate code within the description down below that you can use for some money off. So thank you so much for watching. If you want me to do a full grading breakdown using Dehancer inside Resolve, let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, give it a like and a subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow.